Hello everyone and welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Kevin Wagner. Don't panic, you're in the right place. You are in fact watching Act 3. We're doing this episode a little bit differently. Our good friend, our producer, our hostess extraordinaire, Kathy Holmes, isn't here this time. She's simply not here for this one. She's going to join us again next month, but in the meantime, she is here in spirit. More than that, in fact, she's been putting together a really good episode. She's been working behind the scenes, pulling all the strings, assembling her crew of volunteers, and she's put together a really good show with a really good list of guests. We're going to be talking to people today from the Nanaimo Child Development Center. We're going to be talking to people from Volunteer Nanaimo. We're going to be talking to someone from the Sims group, and you're going to see a little bit of the holiday spirit of giving in the mix of it all. So we're looking forward to bringing this show to you. Kathy, once again, we're going to see her again on the next one. But in the meantime, please, as always, grab that warm beverage, make yourself comfortable, stay tuned. Act 3 begins now.
I'm sitting on the edge of love and happiness. Never experienced such a moment as this. So if you got that good feeling in your body and you want to bring this moment to life, come with me, we'll hit the town. Let's go right now and live the life. I just want to shine like the sky up like a sunset, living with no regrets. I just want to shine.
Thanks, Kevin. We're going to be talking a lot about families and volunteer work and community and how you can be a part of it today. I've asked my friend Kimberlee Howland from the Nanaimo Childhood Development Center to come in and tell us about some of the cool programs that they have going on right now. Hi, Kimberlee.
Hi, how are you?
Great. Kimberlee, for folks that don't know about the Nanaimo Childhood Development Center, can you tell me a little bit about maybe the history and what's going on there?
Well, the Child Development Center has been in Nanaimo since 1967. So we're almost at our 60th anniversary coming up, which is pretty exciting. We started off as an organization that supported families with children who had CP, and there were 7 families that were being served. To today, we serve families with children of all diversities and are here to support children, youth, and families. And last year, we served 1,900 families.
So you've been around since 1967, you said? So that's a pretty long, let's do the math really quick. That's over 50 years of service, almost to 60. You started out around cerebral palsy, but it sounds like you've expanded your mandate. Can you tell us more about the other programming that you do?
We've moved from being not just about physiotherapy and occupational therapy and speech therapies, which is the early intervention core piece, to now we have infant development, we have supported child development, we have family development that supports parents. We have a drop-in play group, and we have our family resource navigators who help families navigate where are all the other resources in the community that might be outside of what we do at the center.
So that's pretty ambitious, Kimberlee. Can you tell me, do you have any stories you want to share with me about how this might have impacted someone you know or around you?
Well, I think we have a lot of people at the center that are very passionate about the work that we do, and myself included. I've moved a lot in the center of different positions, from being a family resource navigator that helped families with advocacy and navigating systems, to now advocating for the CDC and helping to bring awareness about the work that they're doing. I think the growth that's happened has happened because we've paid attention to the community and we've listened to families and to see what families are needing that's missing. So we've been able to grow to meet the needs of that they've identified, not necessarily what's been identified by others.
Do people usually use your service for short periods or long periods? Are you sort of an emergency basis or something that is with the family for long times?
Our main programs are early interventions, so we are mainly work with families until the child is the age of 6, and then they move into the school system to get those other supports. But we do have some programs that continue to support families right through till the child is 19 years of age. So we are a link for families to keep coming back to, and our family resource navigators are the key to that. They can work with families to connect them with resources in the communities even after the child is finished within our community.
I know it's hard to pick one of your babies, but if you had a favorite program, what would it be?
Well, that would have to be the Family Resource Navigator because it's the program I kind of started with. But But I think all of our programs are really important in supporting the development. And the key part is it's not just the development of a child or a youth, it's the development of the family unit together. Because as we strengthen parents and we support parents in feeling knowledge and informed, then we know we strengthen the family. And when we strengthen families, we strengthen community. So it's a key piece to it.
So it's a pretty critical service that you're offering here. Yeah. A lot of folks would think that this was probably funded by the government and just part of, what we get for paying taxes. Is that the case with the Nanaimo Childhood Development Center?
We are funded highly by the Ministry of Children and Families, but like most organizations that have government funding, there's always more that's needed. And as we have grown to meet the needs of the community, our funding needs have grown, which is kind of the new position I've moved into about helping to raise awareness about the funds that's needed. Our fundraising touches every single department and every family in some way, and they are a key part to us being able to continue to meet the needs of our community.
And you've got a new initiative happening right now that I've heard about. Can you tell me a little bit about Shining Star?
We're just starting in our Shining Star program where we pick one of our shining stars that have come through the center and showcase them and advocate for families to help us, or community members or businesses to help us reach our goal of $20,000 in our Shining Star campaign. And our Shining Star this year, Kaylee, has been with us at the center since she was 1 year old, and she is now just turning 20 and is a huge advocate for us as well. And I think that's the key piece, is that we get to see families grow within the center and our children grow and come back and help us in other ways. And now they're coming back, the family and the child, to help us bring awareness to the programs and the benefit that we have.
So this is a person in the community that you've been providing community for 2 decades.
Yep.
So every dollar that goes to you really gets put to work at the ground level in Nanaimo?
It makes a difference for families. And like I said, last year we raised help to support 1,900 families, and our capacity is growing, and that's the challenge. We don't quite have enough space or room, so we're continuing to look for ways that we can enhance our support for families.
Kimberlee, thanks for the work that you Shining Stars down there do. Please give our best to the rest of the team at the Nanaimo Childhood Development Center. And I heard that we have a couple of special folks in the house over with our friend Alexis. Over to you, Alexis.
Thank you, Jeremy. And I'm Alexis, and welcome. We have from the Volunteer Nanaimo, we have Youth Network Program Coordinator, we have Annie Thiessen, and our volunteer, Chimera. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you so much for having us.
I would love to know, if you don't mind sharing a little bit about what is the Youth Network.
Yes, so Youth Network is a program that started in 2001 by Volunteer Nanaimo. It started off as a summer program. So volunteers came over the summertime, and then we saw a growing need for this program to continue year-round. So right now we offer free programming and volunteer opportunities for youth between the ages 11 to 29.
Okay. And is this is this in the Nanaimo area?
Yes,
in this
so
area?
we volunteer all around the community on different projects.
Would you mind sharing what some of those projects are?
Some projects are things like Halloween for Hunger, where we got people at, I believe, Save On to donate almost $5,000. Yes.
Worth of food, yes,
Okay.
for loaves and fishes.
Yes, and I believe we were $11 off of our goal for donations too. So
That's fantastic. Okay, and then when we say the youth between 11 and 29, what would be, why would they come? What would be a reason for engagement?
So a lot of the youth come because they're looking for different experiences, getting to know the Nanaimo community, growing closer and making those connections, and also to develop friendships.
Okay, and so, Chimera, what is it like for you?
For me, I don't know, it's kind of, I don't know, honestly. It's just a way for me to get out into the community and something for me to do on the weekends and a way for me to stack up volunteer hours since I'll need those to graduate, and yeah.
What's the most fun? What's the most exciting part of being a volunteer for this program?
I think it's helping people. I do lots of different things, and I've met so many people, and I really enjoy it.
What challenges you the most?
Challenges me,
Yes.
I think, is just coming up with ideas of what to do next, or helping out and stuff like that.
And what is the most recent upcoming event?
So youth are actually coming up with events, and we have planning meetings on Wednesday nights. And currently we're planning our Coat for Christmas clothing drive.
Coats for Christmas? Okay. And so how does this happen? How does this unfold?
So we partner with the Salvation Army on collecting warm and gently used coats, gloves, hats, socks for people in the Nanaimo community that are in need. And you've set up at Mafio Sutton Park on Friday, December 13th from 3 to 7 p.m. and Saturday, December 14th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. to collect those clothing items.
Okay, and then from there, those clothing items will be given to the Salvation Army.
Yes, who then help to distribute.
Wow.
Yes.
How does that feel for you, being a part of that?
I love it, knowing that I'm helping out people in the community, and I am seeing an impact, and yeah.
And between the two of you, is there a story or something that you wish to share so that people have an understanding of how this impacts, the youth and community?
Yes, so at the beginning of the year, youth came together to secure a grant to establish a native plant garden at Beaufort Park Food Forest. So youth worked together on securing that grant and then coming up with a project plan, talking to the volunteers at Beaufort Park, and then we worked throughout the summertime every week on building that plant garden.
And what were some of the plants? Were you part of this?
I personally was not there,
Okay.
but I did hear lots about it, and I kind of wish I would have gone.
And what were some of the plants that were planted?
So we have any plants native to BC that are edible, so Saskatoon berries, we have some Indian plum, salmon berries. Yeah, we have a variety of over 20.
Oh, sounds delicious. I'm getting hungry now.
Yeah.
Well, between the two of you, this is very impactful with the youth. I would love to know, what is the message that you would like to have shared in Nanaimo?
So in 2023 alone, our 65 youth, including Camara, volunteered over 5,500 hours, benefiting those in need, including seniors, families. We do sing-songs at senior homes. There's just a lot of different opportunities that we take, trying to make the community a better place.
And is this an ongoing funded program, or is there anything that's happening with that, with the actual funding?
So currently we are looking for funding to keep the program running. And if you're out there wanting to be one of our major donors, sponsors, please reach out.
Well, I thank you both so much for being a part of this and sharing about the Youth Network. And so have a lovely rest of the show here, and on to you, Elspeth.
Thanks so much, Alexis. That was amazing. I'm here this evening with Andrea Smith from the Sims Foundation. Welcome, Andrea.
Thank you for having me.
It's so nice to have you. So what is the Sims Foundation?
So the Sims Foundation is a registered charity based here in Nanaimo, BC,
Excellent.
and we focus on poverty reduction and family sponsorship at Christmas.
That's amazing, and that is so timely at this time of year,
Yeah.
and so real with so many issues facing folk here in our own city. So, I mean, that's a really big initiative. What got you started?
So actually, we launched the Sims Foundation in 2021, but the story goes back to my internship in university when I went to Trinity Western and interned with World Hope Canada in Ottawa for 3.5 months and got to explore every aspect of a charity. They did human trafficking prevention in Ukraine and development work in Sierra Leone and Niger. And just that experience was like the pieces of my life aligned, and I knew this is something that I wanted to be part of. And 12 years later, started my own.
That's amazing. And it sounds like those were incredible foundational experiences
Absolutely
for you,
was.
really pivotal. And so how did you get started with Sims Foundation here in Nanaimo?
So it's always been a passion of mine. I'm a humanitarian at heart for sure. And just seeing some of the way that poverty was working in the city, some of the people that we had come in contact with through the real estate company that I was working for. And we wanted to do something to help at Christmas and just make it bigger. And so I was like, well, a charity is a little bit more structured. It provides a little bit more oomph to what we do. And so looked into it, just paperwork. And so we registered. We launched November 1st, 2021. So we just celebrated our 3-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's cool.
And in that time, we've been able to sponsor 27 families. Wow. We've sponsored 104 youth kids with Nanaimo Youth Services Association low-income housing. We have written almost $2,000 worth of checks to other frontline organizations, Wisteria, Loaves and Fishes, so that collaborative spirit is very much there. And we've highlighted 7 organizations in town that do similar work to us.
That's amazing. And I love that you're not only reaching out to people, but you're reaching out to other organizations and trying to collaborate. That's very cool.
Changing the world is a team sport.
It absolutely is. That's very neat. So in the work that you're doing as Sims Foundation, what would you say the core of it is?
So our big project is family sponsorship. Yep. So every year at Christmas, we go to the schools and ask for names of families of people in their school that are struggling with poverty. And we put together gift hampers of groceries and Christmas presents for people. And then we deliver them to the schools the last week that school is in before Christmas break. And then they take care of making sure those families get them. We also have a piece of we sponsor those kids at Nanaimo Youth Services Association. And as somebody I've always had a heart for youth, and that's my day job right now. And so being able to give back to those kids and just reminding them that someone cares and someone sees them and values them, even though I will never meet those kids, that's okay. We just want to make sure that that love is spread out. And then why Christmas is just because it's that time of year where this is a time of year people are celebrating. It's about family, it's about hope, but it's also an incredibly difficult season for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
And poverty brings that out. It just amplifies the stress and the disadvantage. And we really want to make sure that people understand that your inherent value as a human being does not detract from unfortunate circumstances that you are living in. It's still there no matter what. And so we want to really just reinforce that people matter and are seen and are loved, and we can be that little bit of extra in a tough season for sure.
That's amazing. That is, it's an incredibly ambitious thing, but it's an incredibly powerful thing too. I like that you've really focused on youth, and it really strikes me that you were inspired to do this as a youth. And so you've seen the changing moment that can happen with young people when they see the need in community. And as we were talking earlier, you mentioned that you really see young people being changed as they realize the needs around them. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, and that's our next generation of leaders. And part of the reason I got into youth work specifically is because I felt like we were losing a generation of leaders. And so to have that connection with Nanaimo Youth Services and just being able to pour into those kids, that's super rewarding and important for me personally.
Absolutely it is. And I'm sure that you see the kids that you're working with really changed through that. And the kids that are touched at Christmas time too.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is like we have sponsored 27 families, but those families were all at least 3 people. One of the families that we sponsored was 8. And so it's not just the family number, it's that impact of their kids. And then that reinforces not only as an adult of I am still loved and valued and seen for who I am, but those kids then get to experience that too.
Absolutely, that's fantastic. So people watching, I think, might want to become involved. How can they become involved?
Absolutely. Well, we are a registered charity, so you can find us on Canada Helps. We also are on Facebook and Instagram, and so people can reach out if you're looking whether to donate or volunteer. We always buy groceries that Monday before we deliver on the Wednesday. Nice. And so if you want to get involved with that, that's great. Or if you have some awesome skill set that I don't know about, please just drop a DM for us, and I'd be happy to talk about how you can use your passion, because sometimes people feel like they have to take on the whole problem of poverty themselves and they kind of freeze that way. And just know that there's a coalition of people all doing these things, whether it's my organization or one of the other fabulous ones here in Nanaimo. It's a team effort. And so there's always a spot for people. And so you don't have to feel like you have to solve poverty yourself, but there's lots of ways to get involved, no matter what your skill set or where your passion is, whether it's mine or somebody else's.
That's fantastic. Andrea, thank you so much. What a blessing to be able to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Over to you, Teresa.
Thanks, Elspeth. I am so happy now to be here with our own Christmas angel, Rita. Rita, you're usually with us here on Act 3 as a volunteer, but you've got another hat on today.
I certainly do, Teresa, and thank you so much for having me.
Well, it's great to have you. You are the Christmas angel.
Well, I don't know that I am the Christmas angel.
I think you are. I think you are.
I don't think so, but I do certainly had the Volunteer Nanaimo Christmas Angel program.
And you started that program way back 16 years ago?
This is our 16th year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Tell us about the Angel program at Volunteer Nanaimo. What's it all about?
Okay, so of course, the most important thing about the program is that it is an anonymous program. So that really helps a lot with families that don't need to be pointed at as being low income or being in need. But we do deal with seniors, we deal with vulnerable youth, and low income and trauma-based families. They don't necessarily have to be low income, but if there's some trauma that's happening that sort of precludes them from being able to really enjoy or plan for Christmas for their families, then we like to be there to help those families as well.
And you help a lot of people, over 1,600 individuals last year.
1,500.
1,500.
Yeah, it was just over 1,500, yeah.
Well, this year,
great.
1,600?
I don't know. Well, fingers crossed. We do as much as we can, certainly, and a lot of that is dependent on the community and the sponsors that we get and the support that we get from the community. But I have to say that Nanaimo is amazing for the sponsors and the people that want to share and give and help support families and youth and seniors. So we're very busy with that.
It is an amazing community, and it takes a village, because there are different programs, but this one, specifically the Christmas Angels Anonymous, and you are looking for families as well as donors at this point in time?
Well, our families, seniors, and youth are all vetted by agencies, social agencies that we work with in the community. Obviously, when you're talking about that number of people, there is no way we'd be able to vet every family. So we actually count on the different organizations in the city that we work with. I think we were about 17 different organizations that we work with. And they do the vetting for us and fill out the wish lists. And then we give those wish lists out to the angels. So we have offices that will take on a family. We have individuals that will take on families or youth or seniors, whatever their preference is. We have something for everyone that wants to help out. We end up every year with about 30% of our families that are not adopted. And then the donations that we receive and the funding that we receive from donations, we use that money and those gifts to make sure that every family is taken care of.
That's wonderful. Of course, you are looking for those donations to serve that 30%. So what kind of things are you looking for? How can we help?
Well, we do have a lot of regularly requested items, particularly when you're dealing with the vulnerable youth, which would be teenagers. And those teenagers, surprisingly, are asking for things like toiletries, pillows, toothbrushes, socks, warm socks, gloves. But it's always nice for them to have something new. And it's really sometimes a struggle, sometimes not, depending on the youth. But sometimes it's just a struggle to get them to give us ideas. We had a 17-year-old last year that basically said that was it. Toothpaste, toothbrush, deodorant, can't remember what the other thing was. And we had to go back and have someone contact that youth and say, come on, surely to heavens, you would like something, anything else, books, art supplies, a new backpack, something. And because some of them what he said when they called back was, he said, no one's ever asked me what I want. So that's really heart-wrenching.
Yeah, it is. And I'm so glad that you took it upon yourself, or the organization did, to find out what he really wanted, because I think that's so special. And Christmas is a time for everybody should get at least something on their wish list.
Absolutely, and that's part of the program. Whenever we send out our families, we send out the information to our Christmas Angels, one of the stipulations is that at least one item comes from the wish list. I think it's really important that children get something they ask for. It not only because it makes them happy, but also it reinforces the whole idea that Christmas is magical, and how would, Santa or anyone know what they wanted, because they haven't really said anything. So I think that's really important.
It sure is. So again, how can people donate? How can they find out more? And what specifically would you like them to have? We're just about to wrap up. So.
Oh, absolutely. So you can email me at vnanaimo@gmail.com. I think they're probably going to show that. You can give us a call at the office at 250-758-7121. We are charitable, so if you want to make a cash donation, you don't have time to shop, or it's just not your thing at Christmas, we can provide a tax receipt for any donations. And there's going to be drop-off spots all over the city. We've been really, really blessed with people offering to have one of our drop-off boxes so people can just drop off those items. And certainly check us out on Facebook, check out our website, or just give us a call. I'm happy to send you the most asked for list and go from there.
Thank you so much, Rita, for being our Christmas Angel and for being the Christmas Angel with Volunteer Nanaimo for many Nanaimo.
Thank you very much for having me, Teresa.
Well, thank you once again for joining us. Thank you so much. This is a hard thing to do without our intrepid leader, Kathy, but I think we pulled it off. We had a great effort from our team of volunteers, and then we saw some a great lineup of guests from in the community. We learned a lot about some of the initiatives that are out there. So once again, feel free to reach out to those individual initiatives and see if there's a way that you can help. In the meantime, join us next time. Kathy will be back. We'll all be back. We hope you enjoyed this one, and we look forward to seeing you again.